Welcome to the Whisper News Channel. Critical news from the north. The great tension between Wagner and the Belarusian army turned into a conflict. Wagner faced threats in Belarus after Russia. Critical news is coming from the border. Ukraine reported clashes between Wagner troops and Belarusian border guards. The Ukrainian military's National Resistance Center reported on Thursday that there was a clash between Belarusian border guards and Wagner forces. Wagner members conducted a reconnaissance near the settlement of Dyatlik, close to the Ukrainian border. Clashes broke out between Belarusian mercenaries and border guards. The mercenaries retreated, and Wagner did not interfere with his troops. It was also stated that Wagner members began combat training with the Belarusian armed forces. The Ministry of Defense of Belarus confirmed the joint training and reported that Special Operations Forces units together with representatives of Wagner will conduct combat training missions at the Brest military site. The training grounds are located several kilometers from the borders of Poland and Ukraine. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin appeared in a video where he addressed his fighters in Belarus. He informed them that they would no longer be involved in the Ukrainian war, but instructed them to prepare for future efforts in Africa while assisting in the training of Belarusian military forces. Overall, this development indicates a complex situation involving the presence of Wagner troops close to the Ukrainian border and their cooperation with the Belarusian armed forces. The withdrawal of Belarusian border guards during the conflict raises questions about their role in this conflict. At the same time, Wagner's participation in the training of Belarusian forces and what future activities in Africa would be, became the subject of curiosity. Will Wagner be able to regain his strength? After fighting in the north, the airport in Russia's Ryazan Oblast was again attacked by drones. Russian media outlets reported that an airport in Russia's Ryazan Oblast was attacked by a drone, possibly referring to the Dyagilevo airport, which was attacked in December 2022. According to the information obtained, the airspace in Russia's Ryazan Oblast was attacked by an unmanned aerial vehicle. Therefore, flights were stopped and a comprehensive investigation was started in the region. According to the first statements, it is said that there was material damage in the area. It was reported that on the night of July 20th an explosion was heard at the airport in the Ryazan Oblast. A small crater, 10 centimeters in diameter and 1.5 centimeters deep, was subsequently discovered in the aircraft parking area in Moscow Oblast, potentially indicating the result of an explosion. Russian officials suggest that a handcrafted quadcopter may have been responsible for carrying out the attack. No casualties were reported as a result of the attack, but it is noteworthy that other sources did not report on this particular event. Provides background information on previous attacks on Russian airfields. It is stated that on December 5, 2022, a fuel tanker exploded at an airport near Ryazan, causing loss of life. Also, at the same time, a drone crashed into bombers at an airport in Saratov Oblast. The Ministry of Defense reported that the Dyagilevo airbase in the Ryazan Oblast, where strategic bombers are deployed, and the Engels airspace in the Saratov Oblast were targeted. Overall, this incident shows that drones will continue to be used in attacks on Russian airfields. The repetition of the attacks at Dyagilevo airport exposed potential security vulnerabilities in the region. Air traffic in the area was suspended as Russian forces were unable to stop simple drone attacks. The motives and perpetrators behind the attack are currently unknown. In addition to ground operations, Ukraine has begun to increase its pressure on missile and drone attacks. Ukrainian forces gained ground in 3 front sectors. According to the Joint Forces Operation Press Service, the Ukrainian armed forces have gained ground in 3 frontline areas in the past 24 hours, including Donetsk, Luhansk and Mariupol. In the Donetsk region, Ukrainian units repelled a series of enemy attacks. The enemy concentrated their fire on the village of Novhorodsky and the surrounding areas, but the Ukrainian forces retained control of their positions. In the Luhansk region, Ukrainian troops repelled an enemy attack near the village of Stanitsia Luhansk after a 2-hour battle. Ukrainian troops also successfully repelled an attack near the village of Novoalexandrivka. In the Mariupol region, Ukrainian troops captured and secured new positions in an offensive operation. The report also mentions that the Ukrainian forces reduced the combat effectiveness of the enemy by destroying 2 of the enemy's firing points and disabling 1 of the drones. In the Donetsk region, the report states that Ukrainian troops repelled a series of enemy attacks concentrated in the village of Novhorodsky, and Ukrainian forces kept their positions under control despite enemy fire. In the Luhansk sector, Ukrainian troops successfully repelled an enemy attack near Stanitsia Luhanska and Novoalexandrivka after a 2-hour battle. The report also mentions that Ukrainian troops captured and secured new positions in an offensive operation in the Mariupol region. The article also states that the Ukrainian forces reduced the combat effectiveness of the enemy by destroying 2 firing points and disabling 1 of the drones. Overall, this report highlights Ukraine's ongoing conflict with pro-Russian separatists in the eastern regions of the country. Reports of Ukrainian forces gaining positions on 3 fronts reflect their determination to defend their territorial integrity. But the conflict remains a concern for the international community, and these developments could escalate hostilities. The Ukrainian military said on Thursday that Russian forces launched 30 missiles at Ukrainian military infrastructure in the Mykolaiv and Kherson regions. The Southern Operational Command of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said in a statement on social media, on July 2020, Russian forces fired 30 missiles at the military infrastructure in the Mykolaiv and Kherson regions. In the statement, it was stated that Russian forces launched 12 cruise missiles from the Black Sea to Mykolaiv region and 8 cruise missiles from Belarusian territory to Kherson region. The enemy also used Smerch multiple launch rocket systems, the statement said. The intensity of the war reached record levels in 3 different regions on the territory of Ukraine. The tension is higher than ever. We have come to the end of another video. We will continue to report the events in the coming hours to you quickly and accurately. We continue to inform you objectively about the events. You can like the videos to support us. You can also subscribe to the channel to make it easier to follow new videos. I wish you all happy days. See you later.